In San Diego's alleys, side streets, or on the sidewalks, stories of violence against people with no home abound. Cheryl Taylor, a former caregiver who wears pink bunny ears, has one.
I've been raped. And it's really hard because I'm really a trusting person.
So does Richard Stephenson, despite having the build of a basketball player.
We just seen rocks, big old rocks. I got pictures and all that on my cell phone of the original stuff. Rocks just flying all over the place. Bing, bing. So we thought it was somebody in the field right here, across from me right here, just, playing with us, because the rocks didn't come near us at first. The next thing you know, one bounced off the wall and hit me.
And then there's Jeanette Reynolds.
A guy 16 years old come up behind me I had never seen in my life and put his elbow behind my neck like this. I thought it was somebody I knew was playing with me, and he almost broke my neck.
Their stories are part of the ugly reality of being homeless.
They have no protection, and there's also desperation. So there's violence that's committed by people who are homeless, and there's violence that's perpetuated on people who are homeless by people who aren't.
Newly released numbers show that in 2016, California led the nation in fatal attacks against people who live on the street. According to the National Coalition for the Homeless, of the 53 homeless people killed last year in the U.S., 20 were in California. And of those 20, 3 were homeless men in San Diego. The attacker set some of his victims on fire during a series of assaults on homeless people exactly 1 year ago. National Coalition for the Homeless Director Megan Hustings says the number of reported assaults against the homeless is likely inaccurate.
Many of the violent attacks against homeless folks that we track or that we know are occurring go unreported because folks who are on the streets don't always have the best relationship with public authorities, with police departments. Often folks are told to move on when they're sleeping or even sitting outside. There's a number of cities that have actually criminalized the act of laying down, sleeping.
Serious injuries mean more ER visits by the homeless, many of whom are uninsured.
It's coming out of all of our pockets.
And he says there's a moral component.
What kind of city do we want to be? One that abandons our neighbors to the street to be victims, or one that actually takes care of people, brings them back inside to be our house neighbors?
But instead, McConnell says he gets asked a different question by onlookers when he aids the homeless.
Why are you here helping people? You're bringing pigeons to the park. That's how they described homeless people.
That dehumanization, Richard Stephenson says, breeds violence against the homeless, but he says it's the human experience, albeit tragic ones, that put people on the streets. Stephenson started living on a sidewalk after he was released from prison, where he says he served time for killing his wife and son while driving drunk. He says he knows how he's viewed.
Bottom of the totem pole, dirty, scandalous, because, they label homeless people, thieves, as you can see, trash up, just a pest, period.
Cheryl Taylor, the woman with the bunny ears, says she lost her apartment 2 years ago after quitting her job to take care of her sick daughter. But she says the people who live in the high-rise across the street never bothered to ask her how she became homeless.
There's a couple people up there that that scream from the balconies, "Bum, get out of here, you're just dirty trash, why do you have to be here, you're not welcome."
Jeanette Reynolds and her boyfriend ended up homeless when her rent got too high. Now she recites with pride how she dispensed her own street justice recently when a would-be attacker pulled out a knife.
I bent down like this and pulled a razor out. And I told him, I said, 911 coming at all 3 of us because you're not going to take us down like that.
Amita Sharma, KPBS News.